Game on.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glen's Retro Show. Today I got some products in from a company I really enjoy the stuff that they make, Super Impulse. I have 3 items. I'm going to do a video on just one of them today. I'll do some follow-up videos, but some of the items I received was the brand new Burger Time by Super Impulse. I also received Mappy by Super Impulse. These are 2 games I really do enjoy, but I'm not going to take a look at them on this episode. On this episode I'm going to take a look at something really new from them that's a little bit different. It's Teenage.Mutant.Ninja.Turtles by Super Impulse. Let's have a look at this little guy. Okay, so here we have the brand new Super Impulse Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle Fighter. It's endorsed by Nickelodeon. You can see that up here. And it's in their typical box, and I do enjoy these boxes. A lot of nice artwork on it. You can see right here we got the Turtles, the classic Turtles on here. From the 80s, which is the one I remember seeing. It's really cheesy these days. I think there's been a lot of other Turtle shows I enjoyed more, like the one on Nickelodeon, the CGI version I really did enjoy. And you can see here we have this typical keychain on them. We got the little battery protector tab. I'm going to pull this thing out of here. There we go. Oh, and we turned it on, of course. Again, this is on a little 1.5-inch screen on these little guys. It's not the same music you would have had in the arcade. A lot of companies seem to be having a difficult time getting the rights to the original music. But if you notice on here, we have the joystick, which they've always had. And they've always had 2 buttons, but this now has 4 buttons on it. So this is the first Super Impulse where they've gone beyond the 2 buttons and added 4 buttons, which is kind of neat. And again, the box is really nice, but we'll take it out of the box and let's, try and get into the meat of the game here. Okay, when we get it outside of the box here... Ooh, it doesn't want to let go of it. There we go. Now, what I will say, again, when you look at these, they're really nice. The screen actually looks much bigger than a typical Super Impulse. Most of the Super Impulses, the screen was horizontal. This one's actually vertical. So this is actually much reduced. So this is actually, I'm just noticing now, it is a different design, not just the joystick, but the actual unit itself. And they have just the 1 coin door down here, which is nice, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo down here. The marquee does light up, which is kind of nice. Get a little bit closer on here. But yeah, it's actually I don't want to say a super different design, but this is normally up more like here. So it's down further, which gives you much more screen real estate. So maybe I can mod now one of these into a Raspberry Pi for horizontal games and vertical games. Okay, well, for right now, I'm not going to touch this little bad boy. But again, they do a really nice job with the artwork. I mean, this is the arcade artwork on here. Very nice. And on the back, we have our on-off switch and our battery compartment. And they do include the batteries, obviously. And there's still a keychain. Now, I haven't looked at the manual yet, but I still wish, if they haven't, if they put a mode on these where it stayed on, because a lot of people want to put this on their Christmas tree as little ornaments on their Christmas trees, or, something along those lines. So it'd be nice to, keep it on all the time. So here's our little manual that we get, world's smallest, and I'm just gonna see if there's anything really different in here. I mean, we have our typical, the joysticks. We can see that the control panel, you have the joystick, then you have a jump back, jump forward, sword back, and sword forward, which is why they have the 4 buttons on it, which is kind of nice. And it looks like it does use 3 AAA batteries. Again, they are already included. And that's not really too much more to talk about here. The game will still go to sleep after about 20 seconds of inactivity, which is a shame. I do wish they would have put in a way to keep these on, and nothing on the backside. So a very simple manual, but gets to the point. There's not too much you really need to know about it. And of course, they always give you these really nice brochures. And I have to say, and I've said it before in my other videos, I'll say it in this video, there's really nothing from Super Impulse that I haven't gotten that I haven't enjoyed. The Tiny Arcades have all been really good. These new ones, obviously, we're going to take a look at the Turtles today and look at Mappy and Burger Time in a later video. And the tabletops, very, very nice. And of course, they got, you know, the skeet ball, the Turtles pinball, and things along those lines. And they just have a lot of nice little products in here. They're not expensive. Generally, if you get these at Walmart, you pay about $12, $13 for them. If you go on eBay, you're going to pay around $20, $24. But again, if there's something in here that catches your fancy, I will say there's really nothing I've ever gotten from these guys that I've been saying, oh man, I blew my money. Everything's been very, very enjoyable, which is kind of hard to say these days. A lot of times you will get something and the product will disappoint you a little bit in one way or another. But anyway, let's take a look now at the machine itself. We're going to try turning it on and play a game. Okay, so since the power button is already on in the back, just pressing a button should bring it back to life. So it definitely looks like, you know, the arcade game here. And you know, for, again, being a tiny arcade, this is really not bad. We can turn our backing music on and off. Sound effects will keep on, and the volume, I think, is up all the way. Oh no. Okay, now it's up all the way. Now shall we, we'll go past that. There we go. So the frame rate's a little bit slow, but again, you're talking a Super Impulse Tiny Arcade. Even though the frame rate's a little bit low, it's not bad. Of course, we always wish we had a higher frame rate and being more accurate to the original, but this is really more a showpiece than something you'll kind of play all the time. Now, what I'll tell you right now is you can only play as one turtle. You can only play as the turtle that uses the katanas, which is Leonardo. And so that's the only turtle you can pick, unfortunately. Kind of would have been nice if they had a little link-up cable. You could buy 4 of these, and each person playing a different turtle. Again, it's a very inexpensive device, but just something I was thinking would be kind of nice to have is the ability to play the other turtles as well. Or a link-up cable, which I thought would have been kind of neat. Okay, so the frame rate is obviously a little bit low, but again, we're using you know, it's a $12 to $20 device, depending on where you get it from. The joystick and buttons are very responsive. Of course, the screen size is 1.5 inches, so I think the detail you're getting for that size screen is good. Now, you may see a lot of lines on the screen, but I can tell you it's crystal clear to me, but my video camera is zoomed in a little bit, so you might be seeing a lot more lines. So you can see the 2 buttons here, turn your turtle. You press the left button, you fight to the left with your sword, right button goes to the right, and the same with the jump buttons. So I'm going to jump over here because the ball's going to come down here, I'm sure. Actually, it didn't, thank goodness. Oh, there it is. So you can see you got to use each button to pick which way you want to strike. I'm striking with the left button and the right button, jumping with the left, I'm sorry, jumping with the right, jumping with the left. So that's why they put the buttons there. You probably could have did it all with the joystick, rather than put the 4 buttons on here, but I kind of like having 4 buttons, even though they're a little tight. And I do like that the fire effects are still working there, even though, again, the frame rate's a little bit on the low side. But it's a tiny arcade, we kind of expect that the frame rate's going to be a little bit low, because the device is very inexpensive. And, you know, the music is okay, but I think it'll get annoying after a while, but you can turn that off. And obviously, being the small screen, they've simpled it down a little bit. There was just one of those little robot guys. They normally kick my butt. And it lets you go in the door regardless if you finish all the guys. And right now it's just a button smashing fest. There's a good old April, in trouble yet again. Just smash them buttons. Oh, they got me. They got me again. Oh no! They're gonna take me out. Haven't even gotten to Rocksteady yet. Now it's very easy to get him. He's done. Here comes the shredder. Now I believe there's only 3 levels in this version. I'm not going to get that far, it looks like. Do the best I can. Again, the AI is not the greatest, but again, it's really just having a small, tiny arcade, and something to show off for the most part. That is playable too, rather than just being a sticker and music, you know, like we get with like a Hallmark ornament. That's why, guys, I wish you'd make this a real ornament. An ornament you can play on your tree. But again, they still put in, there's the Mousers there. I think that's it for me. So they did put the basic stuff in from the arcade game. So let me give you some of my final thoughts. Quick little rundown here of the Super Impulse Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighter game. I do like it, I'm not going to lie. I pretty much like everything from Super Impulse. I just think they make a nice little product. It's very reasonably priced. If you get it at Walmart for $12.99, which is what they kind of go for there. On eBay, they're going to be more, probably around $24. And if you really want the game, some people will pay that price. But I would say if you want to wait and get this at Walmart for the $12. They do sell at Cracker Barrel too, but they usually also around $20, $19.99 there. But again, they use a good quality plastic, and these things don't break easy. It can be used as a keychain, although I don't know many people who do that, but they do have that on there. I still wish they would listen and put an option here where you can leave it on and decorate your holidays with them, because people really do want to do that. We gamers would love to do something like that. The screen itself is a 1.5-inch screen, and it is very crisp and clear. All the Super Impulse screens are always very good. The controls, the joystick was very responsive. My only real gripe is really with the buttons, and it's kind of hard to do. It's such a small little device. They did put 4 buttons on there, so take my hat off for saying, you know what, let's try this. And my hands are probably on the cusp of being okay, but if you have larger fingers, you may have a harder time getting those buttons closer to the display. But again, it's not impossible. You can get used to it. And of course, they couldn't use the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles music. They couldn't obviously get the rights to that. Nickelodeon, I don't think even has the rights to them to put in these here either. But the sound volume was probably just about acceptable as far as its loudness went. But that tune after a while make it a little too repetitive after a while, so you may want to lower it anyway. But it's nice to give the option to turn those things on and off, these sound effects on and off when you're playing it. And overall, I do like it. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so it's a fun little game. The only, I said, downside is those controls and the frame rate. But to be quite honest, all the Super Impulse machines, they always have a lower frame rate. But it's to help keep the cost down, make them reasonable. And it's still fun to play. The frame rate's not so bad that it's not playable. It's actually still okay. But best thing to do is when you go to the store, you pull out the little tab in the back and you can try it and see it for yourself. And you say, leave a comment down below if you completely disagree with me. Do I wish it had a higher frame rate? I do. But that would raise the cost up. So maybe in the future, their future machines will have a processor and a graphics chip that can handle a little bit better. But I'm still stoked to have a tiny little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade machine to go along with the pinball I have. And I'll do reviews of the Burger Time and Mappy soon. But I had to try this one out first. And I'm going to play it a little bit more. And maybe I'll talk about this more in the future videos. But leave a comment down below. I mean, what do you guys think about the frame rates on these? You find it's acceptable on a small, tiny $12 machine to be that way? Or you want to see something better? Would it stop you from buying it, even though it's still playable? And how do you feel about the controls? I would like to see a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat like this, but now trying to get 6 of those buttons in there? I'm still game, Super Impulse, so don't not do it because of me. I would like to see 6 buttons on here, or maybe have some buttons on the back, because as you're holding it, you can do it like this. Just options. I would love to see a small little Mortal Kombat in this, or a Street Fighter, or something along those lines. But in any case, once again, Super Impulse has done something really cool. I like it. Try it out for yourself and see. But no matter what you do, guys, I say the best thing to do is to try it and game on. Hi everybody, this is going to be a small update video to my final thoughts of the Super Impulse Tiny Arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now again, I still enjoy it. I enjoy these little guys, regardless. But I have to be fair to other viewers out there who may want to purchase this thinking they're getting, you know, the NES or the SNES or arcade version on here. Now, these super impulses generally are recreations. They're not the actual ROM. Someone sat down, looked at the machine, and did as good as they could recreation by looking at the game and maybe some of the code. It's close enough as far as that goes. The frame rate, I understand that's an issue. That's always going to be an issue for these little guys. They're very inexpensive, and they're trying to recreate, you know, a machine from like the 1990s, which is still hard to do with a very small processor in here. But the big thing is about the gameplay. Personally, me, I like it. It brings back those memories. But if you're actually expecting more of an NES or an arcade experience from here, you're not going to get it. The AI in here is not very good. Basically, just keep walking to the right and just smash your buttons, and you'll take the guys out, no problem, and you'll get to the end of the game relatively quickly. But if you want this for just something cool on your shelf, something to play for a few minutes, it's definitely fun, but you have to set your expectations. If you're expecting something more than that, you're not going to get it. Like the Rally X I had reviewed in the past, it's one I didn't really like because I thought the AI in it was really poor. It was just very easy to trick them and beat the game. It's the same thing here with the Foot Soldiers and Rocksteady. In the NES version, Rocksteady used to kick my butt. Here, once you hit him, he doesn't move, and you take him out in a minute. So, again, if you want something that's just neat to have and add to your collection, it's definitely fun and enjoyable to play for a few minutes. But if you're expecting something more from it, like the NES or, you know, the arcade, you're going to be disappointed because that's not what you're going to get from this little guy right here. Again, we're talking something that could be between $13 and $20 or even $24, depending where you're getting for it. But I just wanted to tell you guys that really quickly, that me personally, I like it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. The music gets a little monotonous after a while. And, you know, but I still like having Teenage.Mutant.Ninja.Turtles and something small like this to add to my collection. But if you are expecting to play the arcade game or the NES game, you are going to be disappointed because it's not up to that level. And it's really due to the limitation of the little machine. But for me, if you're like me, you will enjoy it. But the best thing to do is go to the store, pull the little battery thing out in the back and try it out for yourself and see if you like it. But I will say that I'm a little disappointed in how easy it is to beat the game. I know it's a small screen and the controls are kind of tight, but basically just smashing the buttons and you're going to walk right through the game. Okay, we have some other ones to review still, Mappy and Burger Time. We'll take a look at that. But again, that's my final word on this guy. You know, I enjoy it, but many people may not because they may be expecting too much from this little guy. But in any case, I do thank you for watching, everyone, and remember, game on.
the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog. Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.